Welcome back, everyone, to Final Fantasy XIV once again. This is the first time we're going to be on main story quest thing for, in like, I don't know, like 7 months or something like that. I don't quite remember. Actually, even more than that. I don't know where I got 7 months from. But anyways, I've actually been slowly grinding up things. The high-level stuff seems to be 650 for the capped tombstones. And then the lower end uncapped stuff is like 620, and so I've gotten a piece of 620 and 650 stuff, which puts me at 568, and the first dungeon for 6.1, I believe, has a minimum of 560, so we're definitely above that this time around. We are going to be heading to Mordona. Which has been a while since we've been there, so... Overall, my time away from main story questing, we got to all 3 gathering classes to level 50, and we also did Thaumaturge / Black Mage to 50 as well. So we actually did do a little bit of stuff there. Had a little bit of a vacation, but I do want to start kind of like moving towards getting some of this stuff done as well. Since we are at 6.4 as far as patches go at this point, and there's going to be one more, and then presumably it'll be next expansion time at that point, so... I'm assuming I go in here? Yes, here we go. Newfound adventure. Narn, how lovely to see you. If you're not into much of a rush, I was about to make a pot of tea. Would you like a cup? Take a seat then, and I'll find us something to nibble on as well.
It's so much quieter these days without everyone around. Not that I'm pining for your return, you understand. I have my sources, and I know that each and every one of you is doing well and keeping busy with your endeavors. Meanwhile, I'm left with a surplus of free time and the question of how to make the most of it. What about you? Any plans for the immediate future?
A grand new adventure, of course. We are kind of in the adventuring mood.
Traveling to the edge of existence and back wasn't enough? Well, if that's the case, I might have a suggestion for you. You fought bravely and selflessly, helping those in need and saving our star from unimaginable threats. For your deeds, you've been hailed as the champion of Eorzea and a host of other incredible things. But why not put those titles aside for a while? Acquit yourself as a simple adventurer again, and travel the world in search of wonder.
That's a great idea, but where to start?
Oh, with so many exciting places to choose from, it's hard to narrow it down. But I believe I have the perfect destination in mind. Thavnair. That's where you should go next. I doubt you were able to squeeze in a proper tour of Radzat the last time you were there. What with the burning skies and rampaging monsters and so forth. And I'm sure Ritra would be pleased to see you. Then there's the bounty itself. The Empire's presence in the region was always a deterrent to exploration. So if you've a mind to sail that sea, now's your chance. Just think of all the new experiences you could have.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? As the bearer of Azem's crystal, you may consider your duty to see at least that much.
Oh, I know that look. That's an adventurer ready to take on the world. In anticipation of an occasion like this, I was planning to gift you a new set of traveling clothes, but it's still a work in progress. Shouldn't take much longer now though, so sit tight and I'll have the last few bits sewn up before you can finish another cup of tea.
You're the best, Ataru.
Stitch in here and trim in there. Knot the threads with love and care. Just a little more to go. I'm sure you're still brimming with excitement. I am one with the needle. See how the fabric surrenders to my whims. Don't worry. I'll make sure the lining has plenty of pockets for all your little treasures. I swear adventurers are worse than children when it comes to hoarding every feather and leaf and animal hide they come across.
Taking a while, huh?
Oh, we mustn't forget the waterproofing. Gods forbid you forget to disrobe before plunging into the sea, or a river, or a piping hot bath.
Neat music choice there.
Ah, you're awake. My apologies. I do get a little carried away with my sewing. You seem awfully cheerful. Pleasant dream? Or are you just looking forward to the next chapter of your grand saga? Either way, I promise to provide you with new apparel, and so I shall. If you'll accompany me to the Diamond Forge, we can put the finishing touches on your outfit. Shall we?
Alrighty. So they definitely want us to try to take a more simplistic look at what this adventure is going to be like, I guess. I actually still have some stuff, like, I think, at the very least, another dungeon I have to do in regards to Endwalker, not part of this set. I think it was called, like, Smile Ton or something like that. I'm just kind of assuming where I'm going here. Aha, here we go. Observe as the artistry refines her piece into a masterpiece. And no napping this time, I only need a moment, you'll see. A little more room in the shoulders, open up the cuffs, a final adjustment to the hem. All done. Let's see how it looks on the mannequin. Well, what do you think? Doesn't it scream ready for a bold new adventure? Interesting. I am so glad you approve. So what do I owe you? Oh, don't be silly. Your improvement is payment enough. If you really want to thank me, though, I'll ask that you wear this on your travels. Or at the very least, anywhere lots of adventurers might gather. They'll look at you, a famous hero, and wonder, where did she purchase such stylish yet practical garments? Before you know it, hordes of new customers will be climbing over each other to place orders at Taru's boutique. I can hear it now, the merry clink-clink of a gill overflowing with my coffers. Sweet music to my ears. Alright. Merging merchant empires aside, you must be excited to start a new fresh chapter of your life. New places to go, new people to meet. I often wonder how you remember all your experiences and exploits without taking at least a few notes. Oh, maybe you should start doing just that. You never know when some odd past detail might become relevant. Or if one day you'll take a blow to the head and forget the better part of the past decade. Something to keep in mind in any case. Oh, okay. That's neat, okay. My throat's not wanting to clear correctly, I guess. As the former receptionist and sometimes intelligent gatherer of the Scions, allow me to offer you a word of advice. Do not expect juicy rumors to simply fall into your lap. Adventurers rely on gossip, and the best places to pick up information are taverns and markets. At present, you only have a broad destination in mind. When you arrive at Thavanair, I suggest you explore your options at Mirhide's Mahane, the finest drinking establishment in Radzahan. Charm the employees, and they'll not only point you in a direction of the local tellers, but also share with you tricks for loosening their tongues. Now I must really be getting back to running my boutique. Enjoy the journey, Narin, and may fair fortune find you. Alright, let's go ahead and open up our chest and take a look at the new garb we got there. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So we got a couple of things here. They only gave us like 3 particular armor pieces relevant, though. Alright, so that's actually not a bad look there. So we want to go to Thavanair. Okay. Don't know offhand which one would be the closest one to our destination. Let me think. So no, I have to be at Razahan, okay. I thought I just had to be in Thavanair. We'll go to Razahan then. Alright. This is I've pretty much just been hanging out at the bazaar for the last couple of days. Grinding out the tombstones I need. Okay, it might be past this door here. Let me see. Welcome to Merhide's Mehen. Hello, I did not recognize you at first. Are you here alone? Let me find you a table. Ruins beneath the bounty. Would you be speaking of the sunken treasure vault? We have one regular historian, in fact, who could tell you all about it. Ah, there he is, Professor Jahin. I thought I saw him come in. Although a somewhat private sort, the professor is quick to befriend those who share his fondness for the Mehin's unique beverages. Offer him any drink from our selection, and he should be happy to share anything he knows about the vault you seek, and a few other odd bits besides. Whatever you buy for him is on the house, by the way. If Mehrad find out I took coin from Thavanair's savior, she'd be having me scrub pots for a week. Yes. And what may I do for you, my Orisian friend? Oh, just a friendly chat. How about a drink? Well, I certainly wouldn't say no to a drink freely offered. Here we are, one of Morhad's finest. Enjoy. Ah, lovely. Bottoms up. Jahin empties the cup in a single pull. That was very kind of you, miss, but I know you when I'm being softened up. What is it that you want from me? Oh-ho, chasing down that old tale, are you? It does seem to appeal to the adventurous at heart. Now, where to begin? I assume you've heard of Al-Zadal? He was a Khan of the Ori tribe which sailed to Thavanair from the mainland, a key figure in the history of Razahan. His decision to aid the Orcasordora is what ultimately won them the war against the Garasura, thus allowing our predecessors to lay down the foundation for this thriving city-state. The truly fascinating stories, however, concern his grandson, Alazad III, who was known for his deeds as satrap in Razahan's earlier days. Some test that this man traveled to another world entirely and returned with glittering riches, others that he brokered an alliance with certain worm of the first brood. Then there is the tale of the sunken vault, the one that you seem most curious about. According to legend, Al-Zadal III claimed a small island somewhere in the middle of the bounty. There he built a structure reaching clear to the bottom of the sea, a deep and secret storehouse, and locked all his worldly wealth within. In the centuries since, whenever a natural disaster or hardship befell Razahan, folk would remember that tale of the hidden treasure. Haughty souls would seek out to claim their fortune, but precious few ever made it home. Would you like to hear more? Apologies, I have a slight tickle and oh, my cup appears to be empty. Another round for the professor. I see, we've reached an understanding. You're a sharp one, adventurer. Another for the professor. Oh, today was a splendid day for me to visit the man. Indeed it was. Jolin gulps down his newest drink of gusto. Where were we? Yes, those who did return from seeking the treasure vault flatly refused to speak of what they saw. Did this discourage others? Nay, quite the opposite. Such accounts only served to feed the legend, and the golden lore grew stronger than ever before. That reminds me of something Azamah was saying. Azamah is a fellow connoisseur of spirituous potables. Yes, he is. Anyway, he was saying that one of his acquaintances went after the treasure himself. Hasn't been seen since he set sail, I hear, but he did have no, I can say no more. You seem a generous sort. What kind of man would I be to encourage what is clearly your full-hearted request? My word sent you to your death. I could never live myself. I'm no stranger to peril. Really, I'm not. I went to the edge of the universe to fight some crazed man. Is that so? Perhaps it's your turn to tell a tale then. What manner of dangers have you faced? The very edge of existence. From anyone else, I'd struggle to believe it, but I recognize you now. You're the hero of the final days. A drink. I need another drink to settle my nerves. A heal. More of the same, if you please. As you wish, but this one is on your coin, Professor. Shaheen drains yet another cup dry. Anyway, you being who you are, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to share a little more. This friend of Azamah's, he was desperate to buy a treasure map, one which showed the way to the entrance of the vault. Seems he could only get it from some merchant. What's his name? But I forget. Let's drink a toast to you, my new best friend. Mahil, more drinks. Okay, let's go for water this time. Your drink, sir. Ah, marvelous, I am parched. She only gulps down the cup of water. That was water. Did you tell her to bring me water? Still, that's probably for the best. Very kind of you, really. My head would certainly think in the morning. I seem to have overindulged. I am put in mind of the words of Master Jazan. Beware of how much you drink, you swallow. Yet swallow you. Forgive me, I will subject you to no more of these unseemly antics. If you want to speak of Azmaham, well, as I said, we share a taste for the mountain's fine spirits. It probably came in as we were talking. I wish you fortune in finding your fortune. You appear to have learned all that Jahan has to share regarding the undersea vault. To find out more, you'll need to locate a man by the name of Azamah. Okay, so we have a little bit of like a... Okay, ah, there they are. So we have a little bit of a mystery going on. Yes, I'm Azamah, who he might be. Ah, true, I'm afraid. My friend took a ship in search of Azadal's legacy, and I've been watching for his sails ever since. I tried to dissuade him, of course, but he refused to listen. All he could talk about was finding that vault. In that look in his eyes, I knew it wasn't common gold or jewels he lusted after. He was hunting Azadal's III's otherworldly hoard. His ambition would be not not be denied. I see it in you too, the appetite for the mysterious and the unknown. I'll not attempt to turn you from your path, I know too well the futility of that endeavor. So I'll tell you what my friend told me, how he convinced a merchant in the bazaar to give him a rough location of the vault's entrance. Seems his merchant, one Sazal, I believe, is selling a match which shows the exact route, but my friend's purse was too light for his exorbitant price. With what meager wealth he had, he instead paid to learn that there are ruins on a small island somewhere in the bounty. With those ruins hides the path to the vault deep below. If you truly intend on seeking Alizal's treasure, I suggest you put your affairs in order. I wish things were different, but I do not believe my friend is ever coming home.
Ashal, please! You must let me have that treasure map!
What's all this about?
My mother and father were slaughtered by monsters. My baby sister, still too young to fend for herself. Can you spare us no kindness?
So, you hope to find your fortune? And what? You expect me to surrender my wares for pity's sake? What have you to offer in payment? As I thought. Come back when you've more than rags to your name. This is no mere treasure map. It is a guide to the vaults of Arzadal III, one of the great satraps of Radzat Han, and a direct descendant of Alzadal Khan.
A map to Alzadal's legacy?
So he says. A fake, I'd wager.
This is no fake. The parchment is marked with an arcane glyph of passage. You may find the ruins hidden in the bounty, but you won't be setting foot inside without this in your possession. A priceless artifact it is, discovered amongst the rubble in the aftermath of the final days, and lovingly restored by yours truly. This map is the key to fabulous riches, and I'll be the king of fools to simply give it away. Be glad I am no such king boy. Your scrawny-eyed had never returned with that treasure alive.
Oh, cruel fate! Why must you tempt me with wealth I am powerless to claim? How I shall envy the one who purchases that precious map! Whatever they pay will be but pittance against the golden hoards they stand to uncover.
What of you, sir? Fighting man of your stature would surely relish the challenge of recovering Alzadal's lost fortune.
A fortune, you say?
If I had but the strength to seize that treasure, my starving sister would never want for food.
I'll take it. Will this cover the price? Well met, my friend. Someone is dressed for adventure. But why Thavner of all places? Knowing you, I suspect there's more to your plans than sightseeing and shopping. Ruins beneath the Bounty. Curious. And here I've acquired a map to just such a site.
With that sail, I do believe I've earned the rest of the day off. Thank you for your patronage, sir, but if you'll excuse me.
You needn't mind us.
And now I've fleeced one of the heroes of the final days. Pray the sisters were looking elsewhere.
Oh yeah, I figured that was probably going to be a fake map.
This map may or may not be genuine. Either way, we'll need a ship to find out for sure.
I never took you for a treasure hunter.
Lest you misunderstand, I seek the treasure not for myself. If such a fortune truly exists, then it could help ease the struggles of those who lost their loved ones in the final days. I hope to do for Thavner what you and Alphino did for the Alamegans when you recovered the Mad King's trove. Come now. You know Alphino needs little encouragement when it comes to recounting the tales of your shared exploits. Speaking of precocious lads, that boy in the bazaar was clearly an accomplice of the merchant. Suppose his role was to draw the attention of the crowd and add weight to the merchant's bold claims. Transparent act for the most part. It was not all mummery. The need to provide for his sister rang true enough. Thus, if some portion of the profits end up in that waif's pockets, then I will consider it money well spent. Whether the map leads us to the vault or not. You are coming along, yes?
Naturally. We're gonna go on an adventure with Stidian.
I thought as much. Now, let's see about securing a vessel.
I guess that maybe that kid's going on an adventure with us as well. You recall I spoke of visiting Thavner at Vitra's request. Well, he finally invited me to a feast and made his proposal once I was too full of Hannish delights to refuse. He wishes me to train the Radiant Host in lance work. But that's a tale for another time. What we need now is a merchant or a traveler with a ship fit for the open seas. Matsu is a fisherman by trade, yes? We should head to Akiya and see if he can help us. I believe that's going to be out in like fanfare in general, so... Halakistan, I think that might be by the port? I can't remember. Well, this gave me at least an idea of where to go. I think this was like the middle crystal when I went through here before. Okay, so it was kind of like in the middle of all the crystals. Not a single one would have really taken me straight to it, so... My friends, what brings you to our humble village? So you need a seaworthy vessel to seek those ruins. Considering it was your deeds which allowed us to return the fishing, I should think everyone will be glad for a chance to repay the favor. Wait here and I'll have a boat stocked and ready for you in no time at all. Have you noticed our little shadow? He's been following us ever since we left the city. We see you there, boy. Show yourself. Ah, it is you. Do you know how far out of our way we walked so that you'd not cross paths with some wild beast? I'm sorry, sir, but aren't you the heroes who saved Thavenir? You are, I know you are. And I've gone and cheated you. I work with Sahal, you see, the map merchant. It's my job to play the pleading orphan and convince the crowd his wares are worth the price he asks. I'm ashamed of what I've done and beg for your forgiveness. If not for you, my sister and I would never have, well, we'd be... Enough, I know your game. I paid the price willingly. A fortunate purchase, as it turns out, for my friend here was seeking those very ruins. You are kind to overlook the wrong I've done you, but there is more you need to know. The map you bought is very real, as is the island it shows. I overrode Sahal selling the information to another customer. He told that man where he needed to search, about the ruins, about the vault, about everything. Then the man sailed out to find his fortune, never to return. You cannot go alone to that place. You should have more friends with you, maybe even a whole army. I do not doubt the ruins hold danger, but I assure you, between the two of us there is little we cannot overcome. Please, I cannot bear the thought of... We might need a hand moving the treasure. Assuming we find any, still it may prove wise to bring some companions along all the same. Any ideas on whom to approach? The signs have scattered far and wide since our last gathering. Thancred Yarn J? Thancred Yarn J, eh? Those two would answer our call, certainly, but they left the Rising Stones with a definite task in mind. I am loath to interrupt their self-appointed mission. Alphano and Elize? Little Lord Alphano and his sister, were they not bound for Garlemald? They have far more important matters to attend than revolving for trinklets. Grati and Kryle. Aye, Kryle may have her hands full of rebuilding the students, but if you reach out to Gaha, he would surely leap at the invitation. Let's set your mind at ease. Yes, if that man is as strong as you, is he though? Strong, I mean. What is your name, boy? Mirahad, sir. Well, Mirahad, your life is yours to live as you will, but I suggest you find a more honest trade if you truly wish to keep your sister safe. I'm not proud of what I do. But what choice do I have? We need to eat, and everyone's too busy rebuilding their own lives to bother with two grubby orphans. Wait, boy. I didn't take this roundabout road just to see you end up in some creature's belly. Let me walk you back to the city gates. Thank you, sir. Call me Estinian. I actually thought for a moment there that was going to be the entrance to the dungeon, perhaps. With the way they were talking about companions. I shall leave you to recruit Gaha. I appreciate the invitation that much more, I'm sure. As I recall, he was based at the Annex. Someone ought to be able to point you in the right direction. Let's be off too, Marhad. Do me a favor and don't stray from the path. I don't remember where that is. Is that over at the, Okay, Charlian, okay. Highness, okay. In here. Look who it is. Welcome back, Naran. What might the students do for you? Raha, yes, he's in the main hall of Mrs. Krell. They've been holed up in there for days, but all means, go and give them an excuse to take a break.
Ah, Urgika, my good man. Would you be so kind as to...
Oh, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
I wish you had sent word ahead. I thought I was having visions for a moment there.
Slow and steady. Raha and I have been compiling old records of the students' activities. We were able to locate several accounts in the archives of Numenon, but the bulk of our documents was lost along with the Isle of Fowl.
But what brings you to the Annex, my friend? Surely you haven't come all this way just to watch us shuffle dusty papers around? The treasure vault of Alzadal III.
And you're looking for companions to join you on this expedition? I would dearly love to accompany you, of course, but I'm afraid I'm committed to another task, on the subject of which I had hoped to ask for your assistance. Then again, it's not so urgent that it can't wait until you've returned. You should go, Raha. I'll stay here and mind the shop, as it were.
Are you sure? I'd hate to leave you short-handed.
I'm sure. Just try to be back before too many moons have passed.
Well, I guess we're off on another adventure already. Have you asked anyone else to come along? Then might I suggest we invite your Stola?
Ever since the Scions disbanded, she spent most of her time cloistered within the Great Google Library, hoping to piece together a method to traverse the rift. It would seem, however, that whatever wisdom she sought there was not to be found. She arrived in Charlian the other day. We spoke briefly before she began her search of Numenor. Considering what you've told us of Alzadal's extraordinary feats, I do believe your Stola would be more than interested to hear what you have to say. Splendid! Then let us head to the archives at once.
Wait, before you go. I have another potential member to volunteer, if you've room to spare. Urianger. He sent the students a request for materials, you see. Treatises on the architecture of treasure vaults and the like. From what I can gather, the Loporrits are looking to make improvements to their own creation and wish to learn more about how we build things down here. So, why not take Urianger with you? Let him study Alzadal's legacy firsthand.
None can deny the benefit of seeing something with your own eyes. If our expedition leader has no objections, I say we extend Urianger an invitation once we've spoken with your Stola.
Safe travels, you two. But don't forget, I'd still like your help with that other matter I mentioned.
Right. Then it's off to the library.
Alright, so we're actually gaining up quite a few members here. We got a mender here, might as well do that while I'm thinking about it. There we go. I don't think the library is very far from here. Yeah, I kind of almost wish that we had gotten like an odd variety of like people with us that we knew, but haven't really. Just like something different from using the Scions, I guess, is my thought on it. I think I may have went a little... Actually, no, I guess maybe I have to go through here. Let's see. Oh, nope. Okay. I went the wrong way completely. You know, the cities I kind of wish they'd, like, give us unlimited sprint. What am I doing? I don't understand. Okay, I think it's this way, yeah. I'm not too... I don't remember Charlian that much, to be honest. Oh, we found her. Passed out in a pile of books.
I've never known your Stola to doze off in the middle of research before.
close my eyes for one moment. Ow! Ugh. How long have you two been here?
Catching up on some light reading.
Something to that effect. I must have been studying for 2-3 days straight before exhaustion finally claimed me. As you know, I've been researching ways to travel from the source to one of its reflections. Well, looking for hints at least. I don't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. So I've been skimming through the stacks, hoping to uncover even a partial mention of any similar feats in the past. A means to travel between worlds exists, and you can be sure I will find a way to employ it. So I promised Runa, but 'twould seem I've set myself a nigh impossible task.
You needn't be so hard on yourself. The leap I made with the Crystal Tower was not achieved in an afternoon. It was the culmination of a collective effort spanning generations.
Oh, you think me discouraged? I assure you, 'tis quite the opposite. A daunting challenge and the time to sink my teeth into it. I feel like a fresh-faced student again.
A scholar in her element.
Indeed. Was there something else you wish to ask of me? Alzadal is no minor figure in Harnish history, and much is known about his family. But this is the first I've heard of a descendant surviving a trip to another world. If those tales are true, then he may have left behind some clue as to how it was accomplished. An invitation to delve into one of the world's lingering mysteries. As if I could refuse.
All right.
And whence do we embark upon this expedition?
At Chiali, by ship. But before that, we thought to extend an invitation to Urianger as well. He was in Thalmazane last we heard.
Then by all means, let us recruit him, and be on our way.
Alright, so this is going by actually pretty smoothly for once. The Unending Codex is being absolutely updated every moment we go through a cutscene, so... This was one of the more interesting zones of the expansion. I'm assuming I don't have too much further to go here. You know, I wonder if we'll have another adventure in this space at some point. We do have the ship for it, after all.
Ah, our illustrious champion. Cloaked in the mantle of the common explorer, fame set aside in thy pursuit of simple adventure. I am told a new expedition is in the offing.
Wasn't Thancred with you?
He left to attend to some personal errand, but should be returning ere long.
You've been keeping yourself busy, I trust?
True to our plan, Thancred and I embarked upon a pilgrimage of sorts, with an eye for gauging the state of those lands through which we passed. Our travels were interrupted, however, by a request for aid from our befurred lunar allies. As you may recall, the Loperids have been seeking new purpose for the moon, another role through which it might serve to benefit mankind. The Forum have been working to advise them in this endeavor, but I return to offer mine own counsel.
And this has what to do with treasure vaults, exactly?
Ah, you have learned of my predicament from Mistress Cryle. I know not whence they acquired such knowledge, but the Loperids now stand convinced that adventurers delight in treasure hunts. Thus, with their newly built wonderland of riches and mystery, do they hope to entice all manner of daring delvers to the moon. So earnest and innocent was their desire to bring joy to the world that I found myself powerless to refuse them my cooperation. But what of you, my friends? Why are you come to Labyrinthos? Fascinating. This is indeed a most fortuitous opportunity. I should be honored to accept thine invitation. How long hath it been, I wonder, when last our actions were not impelled by fate or desperation?
Aye. Though I cherish the Scion's accomplishments, 'tis pleasant to not have the weight of the world upon our shoulders for a change.
Counting Estinian, we number 5 now, yes? Without knowing what traps or perils await unwary feet, we may be wise to refrain from recruiting others.
I agree. Between us, we should have the skills to handle whatever situation may arise. Shall we be on our way?
What, no time to spare a word for the grizzled old bard?
All is well, I trust?
A wasted trip, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to catch up with a former mentor while you parleyed with the rabbits, but it seems our paths were not to cross.
You're looking well.
That's because we didn't travel by experimental etherite. It's astounding what a lack of nausea does for one's sense of well-being. In any case, as we made our way around Ilzabard, we saw that much of the continent was in various stages of chaos. A certain amount of disorder is to be expected. The final days are over, and the people no longer have a common threat binding them together. That's the thing with these fledgling troubles, eh? You need to keep an eye out, lest they mature into full-grown headaches. So, for what reason have so many esteemed personages seemed fit to gather? beneath the waters of the Bounty, you say? I see you've already stolen away my traveling partner with the promise of unexplored ruins and scholarly glory.
Nay, 'tis not for mine own indulgence, but rather the fulfillment of my commitment to the Loperates.
Ah, of course. And if you have a Stinian rounding out your group, you'll likely have all the members you need.
Feeling left out? I could put in a good word for you, if you like.
We may have been released from our obligations, but I'll never be free of that merciless wit of yours, will I? In all seriousness, it is best I sit this one out. Too many former scions consorting with one another might be seen as a cause for concern in certain quarters. I'll return to my usual reconnaissance and scout out the situation in the Far East. Feel free to share if you come across any interesting revelations. Till we meet again.
Shall we also hasten our departure? Sir Estinian will wonder what hath become of us.
Yeah, I guess we can have our 5 then. Alright, now we have to head back to Razahan. And I guess we could just pick whatever... Well, not Razahan, but Thamenir. I guess we can just kind of pick whatever one we want, really. Ah, okay. Everybody's here already. I sent you to recruit Graha and you return with an entire survey party. Hope Mysteria's boat is straight enough to carry us all. What he means is, we are grateful for the use of one of your precious fishing vessels. We're more than glad for the chance to provide it. I only ask that you take care to steer clear of the reefs and the shallows there. Aye, we'll keep an eye out. Alright. Azadal III, I confess I am somewhat embarrassed that the tale of his journey to another world escaped my notice. Could be more than simple folklore. And what of the treasure he supposedly brought back? This undersea vault may hold relics from another reflection. My friends, we should temper our expectations. Not thought promise ruins, but beyond that we know not what we will find. Not until we find it, aye. So let's dispense with the conjecture and set sail for the vault. And now we have the dungeon. Alright. So I'll go ahead and end the video off here, and next one will be us going through the new dungeon for 6.1. So see you guys then.